Rebellion. It is the king, Lambo.
And what's a king to a captain in the bottom left? In the red, looking for the upset. It's Harstem.
What is a king to a captain? I imagine it's his king.
A captain is the king of his own ship. Cats.
True. Like a minor king, but he can maybe do it. I mean, I tend to believe. He does get the block off on the first hatchery as well on the other side of the map. So Lambo is going to go for the classic, just taking the hatchery at a different location. We'll see if Harstem looks to exploit that via something like Adepts or Oracles or any sort of mobile units. But for the time being, he's chilling.
And you know, Cats, it's come to my attention before this game gets a little bit too more involved. It's come to my attention that we've all been talking about this map wrong. Because apparently it's not Alcyone, as I thought it had been, and other people thought it had been. No, it's Alcyone.
Alcyone, that sounds very Italian.
It's a Greek, right? Alcyone, or Alcyone.
Alcyone, that sounds very Italian. But yeah, it's Greek. Right? It's Greek. It's a Greek word, yeah.
Well, that's all Greek to me. But yeah, no, we have been wrong, and we, you know, here's a shout out to the Team Liquid people who are just keeping track of how often people mispronounce this map. Well, not Cats or I, not any longer. We got it right.
Alcyone. Oh, the pool will finish. Probably a couple of links are in store here for Lambo as he starts the second queen first, so prioritizing that. And yeah, everything as per normal here from Harstem. The Overlord's going to be parked on top of the gateway and the cyber core, but there is a pillar nearby, so Lambo knows that this could potentially be a stalker. However, with the chrono boost, it is very unlikely to be anything other than an adept, and Lambo might look to just go in the main base of Harstem once he confirms that.
Yeah, and of course the big thing you're looking at here for Lambo is when does the cyber core start spinning? And in fact, he started it and he stopped it. Warp gate on the way again. Harstem just trying to be, I guess, very greedy on the gas count here. Yeah. So generally you start warp gate at 2:30 off of a Stargate opener. Why did he cancel that?
I kind of love it because I think that if there is someone to exploit with timings like this, it has to be Lambo. Lambo is very structured. He's a like very logically driven person and player. So when it comes to build orders and whatnot, he knows better than probably anyone else as far as timings, right? It's like, oh, this is when the cybercore starts spinning, then this is my response type thing, right? Like this is what you must be doing. So I love that Harstem kind of started it and then showed it to Lambo and then canceled it because it's unlikely that Lambo will look to double confirm. So probably just a little bit of a mind game.
Yeah, but it's like, that's got to be such a, I think it would be the opposite where he's trying to, I don't know, because if you think about it, he started it, canceled it, and then started it again like 3 seconds later. So you would be looking for Lambo to go, and nice cancel there on the third. You'd be looking for Lambo to go check it, see it's spinning, check it again, see it not spinning, and then never check it again. I see. And that seems to me like maybe this is the team play. Maybe this is something that Harstem and Lambo practice enough that Harstem knows that Lambo always checks twice, and then he's gonna go for that. But
that's too deep.
That feels really deep.
What I thought it was when you mentioned it was that he started it and then canceled it to drop the Stargate and then started it again.
No.
Because then you get the Stargate a little bit quicker, right?
Yeah, and that would make sense. There have definitely been some really interesting builds, especially when we were in the 2 Stargate meta, where you would kind of fake having gateways and then cancel, drop 2 Stargates, do whatever. But no, this was a Stargate before Warp Gate, so I don't know. It feels like it shouldn't be a mistake because people don't tend to hotkey their cybercore, but I don't know. Maybe it was. Just kind of weird.
I mean, if it's like a 3-second difference, it sounds like a little bit of a mistake. Unless he really was starved for gas for the stalkers or something, I'm not sure. I don't think that's the case, man.
Oh, Cats, look at this. Look at this.
Will you look at that? Well, it's the cheaper mothership here, so he's going to be going for a rush on it, followed up by Tempests. One of them that's going to get caught in the open here. The other one's are going to be able to tuck themselves between the pylon, but there's no shield battery just yet. Good positioning, however, for Harstem, minimizing damage there by virtue of minimizing the surface area that Lambo can use. And will push the Lynx away for now and probably for a good while after. So very interesting opening from Harstem here.
When the Balance Council decided that they were going to go and do something different, that they were going to buff the Tempest's not even their move speed, their acceleration, so you can micro them a little bit better. They're going to change the Mothership to be more of a mid-game unit. Well, we all know, Harstem has been vocal about being on the Balance Council at times. This is what it was designed for. Specifically right now, they said, Harstem, you're going to play Lambo in the 1-0 match here of the European Regional, and you're going to show everyone what we intended with this change. You're going to rush Tempests. You're going to build the Mothership. And I have no idea how this goes, but I mean, for now, he's got his units out. He's got the Mothership here. He's got Tempest on the way. And, well, Lambo's just got a couple Lings on the map, and he's got a Spire.
Just starting.
Yeah. What did he... I guess just the lack of stuff on the ground kind of tells him that, okay, this is probably some weird commitment, right?
Yeah, I mean, Harstem losing a lot of his ground units, though. Those are units that he doesn't want to have to remake. It's minerals that are going into the ground instead of, following up with more Tempests and whatnot. So that sucks, because this Lynx from Lambo shouldn't be finding any more damage. Just a really good job from the German player here. At least Harstem has not yet revealed the Tempests, and I believe the Mothership is on its way to the other side of the map and potentially looking for some sort of recall, as the Tempest will get recalled here, and they'll start looking for some damage. Spire nearly done, though, 75% of the way done.
Look at the spores were already there, though. Like, this is such a hard read from Lambo that I'm assuming that this is just something. Oh, there we go. There's the cloak as well outside of spore range here. The Mothership takes damage, but that's just about it. So these 20 seconds, so many queens will go down. Massive. It's 5. That one shots them. I cannot help but feel like this is something, we look at this with how well prepared Lambo's been, that this is something where Harstem's done this to him in practice, and this is something that Harstem's been playing around with. It still gets a lot of value, cats. Now there are corruptors on the way, and you're gonna have to recall home pretty quickly here.
Yeah, but you already did all the damage that you were looking for and beyond. 2 more queens show up, but this attack is designed to get rid of queens in particular, so those are gonna be easy pickings if he wants them. And yeah, I think just don't stretch your luck. Get out. No, recall. So, too late. Okay. Gonna lose a couple of, just one actually. 2. Oh, second one goes down. Couple of Tempests indeed. So as soon as you see the first Corruptor pop up, I think you have to imagine that there's more Corruptors from multiple angles coming, and recall, I think he could have just gotten away with losing just the one Tempest, maybe even none.
Yeah, so the important thing here, cats, is that there is 1 queen on the map, and it's very low. Harstem maybe could have gotten that one as well, but there is 1 queen. Which, anti-air, who cares? There are Corruptors out of the map right now. There's going to be a significant larva problem in the next 45 seconds. As the last injects start to hit the map and really are done with. This is a 4-hatch Zerg. He's got his 5th hatch now. He does not produce that much larva to be able to make this happen, especially as he's pumping the Lings. He's at 188 supply. He's going to use these Corruptors to try to kill this base, but this army that he's got, it's going to be hard to reinforce. And Harstem knows that, but he's going to have to recall home anyways, deal with this. That's the benefit of the Mothership. You get a second recall.
Yeah, that was great. And that commitment was a little strange because the cannon is finishing, but there's also a battery, so you can always overcharge it. So, loses a few Corruptors there, Lambo, the Corruptors that he's going to have to remake. So maybe not the best move for him there. Still posturing out on the map, still has a very healthy economy, now with a gold as well kicking in. And 98 workers. So he is going to be looking for aggression here. He's going to be looking to continue to trade. If Harstem can absorb that aggression without losing too much, if he can get to Storm, he will find himself in a good position, but he's not there yet.
And cats, I mean, Storm's going to be done. It's a pretty quick upgrade. It's going to be done not when Bailey's speed is done, but it's not going to take that much longer. But I think that move from Lambo, with the Corruptors running across the map, forcing the recall back home, I think that had to happen, right? Because this army that Harstem had, Lambo didn't have Bailey speed. He didn't have a lot of the tech that he needed, and his queens weren't reproduced. Like, he was going to struggle to build a backup army, but the Baileys, they're just going to come crashing in right now, getting as many probes as possible. They're all going to die, but the Storms are really nice. And remember, the Baileys are not as tanky as they otherwise were. So the first part of this from Harstem's not bad. In fact, this base might not even go down. If Lambo's, he's going to get it on the backside, but focusing that was a mistake. That was expensive there out of Lambo. He lost so much.
Yeah, Harstem has to go on the counter offense right now. He has the advantage right now, and he knows it. But at the same time, for Lambo, that's kind of what he was looking to do, right? With a 98 worker economy. If he defends this, he will be in prime position to take the game. But can he defend this? I think that Harstem has to get this base 100% of the time, maybe a second base. And then we'll see if Lambo is able to. By the way, he did remake those queens kind of right away, so the larva hasn't been too bad. 30 circlings on the way to as will serve as evidence of that. And nice moves on the other side as well. A few of these corruptors will fall, but another Nexus going down.
Field battery overcharge just not fast enough there. They heat up. They do so much damage. So now Harstem, he's on 3 bases. Well, actually 2 bases. Doesn't have the gold base done just yet. And the problem is, he went for the all-in. And it was the proper decision. He had to go kill that base and more. And, you know, he barely even got the base. But he hasn't had the time to build more High Templar. Those are units that help you in 30 seconds or so. Once they warp in, once they get that energy for Storm. That's not something that Harstem had on the pressure. So now as we have this attack coming in from Lambo once again, the Storms are only just now starting to hit the field. There are not a lot of them. It's like 4. High Templar
should be 2 at the moment, yeah.
Yeah.
Too soon to be 4. So yeah, it's a little bit tough. The High Templars are trying to retreat, trying to gain more energy. There's the first Storm, and it's a pretty good one actually. Will deter Lambo from continuing to move on forward like that. The Templars, however, exposed, but nice reposition from Harstem towards the tail end. Only loses a couple to the Banelings and not without a Storm to answer. This base again under siege, but now Harstem's army is looking pretty intimidating. If he can land one more Storm or so, or at least have the Banelings connect primarily on Archons or start chipping away with the Stalkers as he is, then he should have the advantage here and will take the high ground as a result. Can remake that base if he wants to. He's back up to 4 bases otherwise, and on the other side, a lone Zealot is doing a little bit of damage. So this game, far from decided. If anything, I am starting to like Harstem position better and better because Lambo hasn't been transitioning that well, right? Like he was looking to kind of snowball his lead and he hasn't been able to.
Yeah, I mean, hear me out here, cats. You neural the High Templar, you drop Storms on the army of the Protoss. But I mean, this is Lambo going for more tech now. He's got the neural on the way, but you're right, this army out of Harstem, +3 is going to be done pretty quickly, so maybe this is a bit of an anti-timing. But right now, he's maxed out here. He's got the Storms. Lings are going to try to bomb on top of this. How many High Templar go down? It's going to be 1, maybe, and a couple more Banelings looking to bomb on top there. The Storm's just not where they need to be. And Lambo, he kind of smashes this. The backside is a little iffy. The Stalkers, they do tons of damage to the Roaches. Archon's fighting as well. But Lambo did what he had to do. He killed off all the High Templar. He made that happen. Ling's running by onto the other side. That's going to get dealt with. But these Zealots, they're going to get a base out of Lambo as well. And with warp-ins here, with reinforcements, I don't think the Roaches get the gold here. So this is actually turning out pretty nice for Harstem.
Yeah, it's whack. It's weird. It's crazy. And Lambo, again, focus firing the base. He really wants to win on economic grounds here. That is his win condition. It's his drone count. But basically, the problem for Lambo is he maybe hasn't identified that Harstem was also going so heavy in economy that, you know, losing a base is just going to be a timing hindrance. But at the time being, he still has a pretty healthy amount of bases. And even when he lost the natural and he lost his 4th, he double expanded. So it might be the case that Lambo feels like he's been denying these bases enough to hinder the economy of Harstem significantly. But Harstem has done a good enough job of just kind of planning behind that and seeing what Lambo's win condition is and that he's committing for those nexuses and then trying to expand fast. So if he can situate this base, he will very much be back in the game. Again, the problem for Lambo is going to be the tech up until he reaches Brute Lords.
Yeah, the wild thing for me is that Harstem, he had that base, that north side base, dead. He just had to click on it with his Zealots. He didn't. So now Lambo gets another mining base that he probably shouldn't have. As we look at here, 4 Storms on the map right now. One's not going to get a lot, and Harstem, his supply is not where it needs to be. Again, he's going to be denied from this gold base. I almost feel like I'd like to see him expand on the north side. I know it's not as safe, but because Lambo has been committing so hard here and getting these denies over and over again, and that's a nice Storm. Because he's been getting these denies, he's not really been focusing on this side of the map, so you could maybe get away with going and getting a base up that might not otherwise happen. Regardless, 5th base denied. Once again, the Zealots getting a couple drones, not a ton. This base is still up here. And we see a Harstem that's going into Immortals. Broodlord Tech is done. Immortals, cats, they don't shoot up. They're not good against the Broods.
They don't, but there's no Brutes out just yet, so maybe there's some hope yet to be found as far as the timing of some kind of Harstem. Remember, he also opened Tempest, so he could also kind of like flex back to that. I agree with you on the expanding pattern. In fact, like I think that the gold is probably an incentive, like feeling behind that Harstem really wants. But if you look at the creep spread, it's very apparent where Lambo wants to play beautiful storms. However, to start that engagement, that means that a lot of the Banelings are going to get one shot by the next set of storms. Lambo tries to utilize them, knowing that the next storm is going to kill them, to just try to fend off and deal a little bit of damage to the Stalkers. But very strong move from Harstem. Still no Broodlords on the side of Lambo. And if he can't pick up to Broodlords, then again, I think Harstem can make a comeback here.
Yeah, I'm surprised to not see him go for Broodlords. He's got the bank for it. He's got a couple corruptors in the sky that he can transform, but I mean, for now, just sweeping in on the ground here again, trying to get these High Templar. He gets them all! There's like one left and no storms here, so this army of Harstem, I mean, good luck there, Cat. It's 5 Archons. That's it. Lambo took the fight. He found the fight that he needed, and who cares about Broodlords? Harstem doesn't have an army anymore. This is it.
Yeah, it's been so beautiful from Lambo, always finding those clumps of Templars with the Banelings time and time again. So very diligent there to know when to engage. I mean, that part of the map is a little bit difficult to engage because of the choke in the middle, right? Like some of your units are going to be trickling in and whatnot, and it's not as open of a space as it looks like, but finding the Templars is everything he needed, and with that, he should be able to bring this one home.
Don't worry, Ken. I was just saying, he's pulled probes. The Banelings surely are not going to kill the probes in the army. But yeah, Lambo, that was a hard-fought game. But Lambo takes game 1.
Yeah, very, very cool opening from Harstem. I think he did a lot of damage with the Tempests as well. Like, picked off so many queens. So it's got to be a little bit discouraging not to be able to kind of close it out from there. But beautifully played from Lambo for sure.
And I'm just enjoying looking at and I know it's inflated, obviously, that's just how that works, but I'm enjoying looking at the APM we got here from the end of the game from Lambo, and because he played at 678 APM, which doesn't mean he was playing that fast necessarily, but it does mean he made a lot of Banes. And you hold things down, keyboard repeat rate as it is. Lambo, I mean, I think if Harstem plays a little safer with his Eye Templar, I think he absolutely can make that happen. But you have all your High Templar in the like just running forward, tanking Banelings. You're not going to win the game. That's just not going to happen. So now we move on to game 2. It's going to be Oceanborn. It's again a different map. It's a map that seems to be pretty acceptable in this matchup. We're not seeing it. There are some maps we see occasionally. This one we're seeing quite a bit here. And let's see. I don't think we're going to see him do the Mothership Rush again. It was cool. It worked out really well, but I think that's like something you throw out there like once every couple series, maybe. Certainly not twice in a series.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, your opponent has time to figure it out and time to adapt to it. And you're gonna, if you see the exact same game played out, especially when you're this focused in the game, it's easy to gather those tells. So a lot of the time, the better thing to do is to set an expectation in one game and then kind of do something similar that plays off of that same expectation. Like maybe you could go carriers or some other route instead. But I mean, they both get countered by corruptors, so probably not. I agree with you. I think he needs to try something different, as cool as that was and as good as that was really for him.
Yeah, well, we're gonna find out. Oceanborn. It's a good map for Sky Toss because there are Sky Whales. You can join your friends. But for now, game 2's here. And on the upper left, it was a cool build in game 1, but didn't quite work. Down a game now for the Rebellion. It's Harstem.
Plebeians in the chat, kneel down to your king. In the bottom right-hand side, it is Lambo.
Cats. You get enough plebeians together, get them angry enough, suddenly they're going to start to rebel. Suddenly, you got a plebiscite on your hands. And
plebiscite.
It's actually the technical term.
Really?
Yeah, there was. So
that's cool.
In the ancient Greek Senate, right, where the term plebeian comes from, you would have, I can't remember the name of the title, but you have a representative of the plebeians.
Okay.
And they could also
Like
make
the
law
people's
happen.
champ.
Yeah, it was even with the T, I forget what it was, but motions put forward by the plebeians would be a plebiscite. Would be them saying, hey, no, like we are the common folk and we want this. You can't just be this kind of pseudo-elected aristocracy and make things happen, if I remember things properly. So yeah, that is the term when a bunch of plebeians get mad together and try to make change. It's a plebiscite.
Yeah.
Or
I
plebiscite.
think we had a Terran plebiscite in this patch.
Except based on the results of this year before the patch, Cats, I don't think they were the common folk. You know, if you're 4 out of 4 in 2 GSLs, or no, 7 out of 8 in top 4 of the first 2 GSLs of the year.
I see. They were the elite already.
Yeah, you're kind of already royalty.
I see. Yeah, I like that the memes have shifted a little bit away from Zerg. It's now the Terran conglomerate that people talk about. Is what I've heard.
The Terran Dominion. Although I think it's kind of funny. We look at GSL, right?
Cabal.
This first tournament, and for the first time in a while, it's not 4 Terrans. It's not 3 Terrans. It's actually 2. But no, yeah, no, right. It's 2 Terrans, a Zerg, and a Protoss. So, no, sorry, it's 2 Zergs, a Terran, and a Protoss. So like we somehow, despite this being, I still agree. I think this was a very good patch for Terran. GSL's not respecting that. They got their own meta. They're doing their own thing. Although,
they always do.
In fairness, part of that was Harstem just having a real rough day in the round of 16.
Harstem having a rough day in the GSL.
Mario having a rough day in the GSL.
Jesus Christ. Okay. That is true. Yeah. I mean, Scarlet playing amazing as well.
He did play. Oh man, he played that so well. I mean, I guess Harstem is having a rough day in the GSL, and that he's not playing in the GSL, and that makes him sad.
That is potentially true.
Maybe.
Yeah.
What are we looking at here, Cats? Game number 2. It's not going to be, I don't think, a mothership again. It's just we got the Oracle opening. Yeah, it's pretty basic.
It is as basic as it gets. Yeah, this is the most common opening in the last 5 years or so. We're gonna have an Oracle opening into a fast third. The Oracle is there to fend off any Ling aggression, right? It's excellent at killing Zerglings. So Harstem's actually gonna spot it, turn around for them. Should be plenty fine. Adept steps forward, trying to bait the Zerglings into saying, hey, you can surround me, but the Oracle's on top. So if you do get the surround, you turn on the Oracle, the Lings die. Nothing dies on the side of the Protoss. Lambo knows that. He will not engage. Now he sees the Oracle moving out.
A big deal here, Harstem didn't have to spend any of the energy on the Oracle, so technically he can get a little bit more damage done, but there are queens and there are no drones at this natural because it's really the third. Technically that's what it is. So Oracle's not a ton. They're split up here. Harstem does want to bring them together, and that's going to happen, but I mean, there are 3 queens on this side. You're not diving that. In fact, yeah, back away. Don't take that whole damage. Another Oracle from another angle here. This is a cool move, but it's not enough. It was a cool idea, you know, drag the queens out of position, but did not work.
It was very nice indeed. So there's a high ground there that the Zerg doesn't have vision of its own main without an Overlord, but lucky for Lambo, there was a transitory Overlord that popped up as well. So it helps him on that regard, and now has creep tumors to mitigate for that effect as well. So Harstem now getting a little bit of map control with triple Oracle. He's able to move out with his Adepts as well, and that'll be nice because it'll force some units out of Lambo. So 10 links having to be made. The Adepts are likely to cancel their shades. They should not go in, but this was a very nice move out.
Oh, yeah, you gotta be careful though. These Oracles taking a lot of damage. Here's 4 though.
Like a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. They really don't get a lot. If you're playing like this, Cats, like obviously the Zerg is gonna be buttoning up and they're gonna have spores and queens, but generally you get a couple. You get 2 drones, you get 3, maybe up to 5. So the fact that Lambo has just defended this well and has taken literally 0 damage that's pretty promising here for our German Zerg.
Yeah, for sure. Links are gonna get the surround on the Adepts, but the Oracle is there as well, so they're gonna trade okay-ish. They do force an extra 2 Adepts should Harstem want to take a fast 4th. On the other side, they're gonna be met by Stalkers and an Adept on exit and should be pushed back. The creep spread is there for Lambo, all towards the middle for the time being, and he is taking his 4th base himself. Templar Archives now going down for Harstem. So things are progressing now into the mid game, as we're likely to see Baneling speed being researched once again from the German once the lair completes.
Yeah, I do like this move out from Harstem. Blink's not done, but he knows that Lambo's not going to be pumping too many units just yet. This just gives him an opportunity to go and nice. Oh, that's a good stasis. This might trigger some pressure right now. This actually is not enough to get maybe at the base next. Ooh, Stalker gets caught here. I thought we were going to see Harstem just kill the base with what happened, but what just...
I think he decides to try to kill the Lynx. 9 probes went down on the other side. Has to have been Banelings. And Harstem's about to get surrounded by the Lynx that he was trying to trap there. As the Oracles were not paying attention, Lambo pushes forwards with the Queens as well to make sure that he can free up those Lynx. And yeah, it ends up happening that maybe the base was the better target for Harstem to try to take down there while the stasis was in effect. I don't blame him for trying to go back for the Lynx, because you do have 3 Oracles. If you can kind of make a little bit of a U-type surround where, you know, like some sort of form where the Lynx don't have as free of an exit, then you can tax a lot of them, maybe like half before the rest of them ran out, and that would have been worth it. But Lambo preparing really nicely for that event and pushes Harstem back and gets a pretty good advantage, I would say.
Yeah, Lambo's in just an incredible spot right now. He's got Hydras on the way here. He's got Baneling speed on the way. But the saving grace for Harstem, as it was in the last game as well, Storm's done in 10 seconds. And, you know, Cats, I don't need to tell you, Storm against Hydras, against Lings, against Banelings, now that even with Baneling speed, they don't have that extra 5 HP, so they die even faster. Adding the Storms on top of that, Storms deal with all of those units very, very nicely. So if Harstem can get to that critical mass of maybe 150, 160 supply, 6 or 7 Storms, just really start to put the metal to the metal there. Oh, that's a nice stasis.
Oh,
well,
another one.
You gotta try to... And he's not. He's just too worried about the Ling run by on the right side. This army from Harstem absolutely can smash, can fight at the very least what Lambo's going for.
Yeah, for the time being. And Lambo's continuing to add just more Zerglings at the moment. So Hydra, Ling, Bane, this is kind of an all-in type play. Of course, he does have the economy in the back of it as well, with 80 workers already and a 5th base already up. But this Stasis Trap is a really nice start for Harstem. If he can get those storms going, maybe on the expiry of the Stasis Trap, one of those Templars should go forward and get ready to pounce on that, where the Stalkers should look for the Circlings. But he's not looking for the Storm onto the Hydras, which is really surprising.
Yeah, Hydras are the far more expensive, the far more impactful unit that you want to kill. A couple Lings is not a lot here. Stalkers, Link left. Oh. Great Stasis Trap as well. Really, everything Lambo's doing right now is designed around bombing on top of these 5 High Templars. That they have all the Storms. They are the difference here in this game. If the Storms get off, Harstem probably wins the fight. If he doesn't, it's just not all that great. So now Banelings finding their way in as this army, this is so wide open. This is such a hard position for Harstem to try to hold on to. Even as he tries to take the 4th base, I mean, I can't, I'm fully zoomed out. I cannot show everything. Cannot show this entire army from Lambo. Now, he's maxed out. In fact, he's supply blocked a little bit, but he will get the 4th base. As again, we're running this issue where Lambo understands his win condition. He just has to make sure that his opponent doesn't have a ton of economy. Now his Storms are going to go down. Here comes the army. Those Storms are so good with the High Templars at the end. They will go down, but here Cats with that Stasis Trap, with that wall that you pointed out here, I think... No, okay, the Archons are going to go down. Is this enough? Was that a good enough fight for Harstem?
And the problem is the 4th was lost in the process, so he doesn't really have the momentum to cross the map. It was a good fight for Harstem, but losing the 4th was a little bit too heavy of a blow, and now he's going to get surrounded in the middle, and that might just be lights out. I mean, yeah, Harstem's going to have to tap out, and Lambo with a decisive 2-0 victory of some nice mid-game aggression.